They're the tests that are meant to tell us if we have COVID or not. But questions are being raised over the accuracy of rapid antigen tests. Some people are testing positive with a rat, but a PCR test shows they're negative. But can we trust them? Tonight, we put the rats to the test.
Have been testing negative on rats every day.
Tim Milgate has been isolating for the past week.
I went to work last Wednesday for our weekly PCR day. Been doing rats every day, which were negative. And when I got that PCR result back on Thursday, it returned a result of a week positive.
A second PCR test confirmed Tim was COVID positive. But if he'd relied on his multiple rats, he still wouldn't know he was infectious.
So I've been doing a rat test every day just to see if anything comes up, and I haven't even had a faint line.
I'll just open up one for you to show you how it works.
Scientist Connor Honeysett.
As a sample is added here, you'll get the movement of the sample up the strip, which then will come in contact with the antibodies, and then if there are viral particles in that sample, it'll cause a colour change, giving you a clear, distinct positive or negative result.
He tests 2 samples from COVID positive patients.
What we're going to simulate here is a rapid antigen test in regards to a patient that has a high viral load versus a low viral load, and you'll see the difference here straight away.
A positive line instantly appears on the high viral load, but the low viral load,
You will notice that after 15 minutes, it actually won't go positive at all.
Connor then runs the samples through the PCR test machines.
We can see here that this patient is actually positive, but they actually returned a negative result on the rapid antigen test.
So what is the PCR process giving you that the rapid antigen test can't?
So the PCR is actually taking a smaller amount of the virus and amplifying it so that we can detect those lower viral loads.
Surely operator error plays a part here.
Yes, absolutely. If a patient is not collecting correctly, so they're going up their nose instead of leaning back and collecting backwards, the test won't even pick up that they are positive.
Greg caught COVID after his family of 12 came for dinner last week.
I tested myself Thursday, Friday and Saturday, and all three tests came back negative. And my son also, I think, had 3 rats as well that came back negative before he got his positive PCR.
He says there's one big lesson here for everyone.
If you've got symptoms, rely on your symptoms telling you that you need to get a PCR test to confirm that you've got COVID.
One of the challenges is access. In Queensland and the Northern Territory, you need a GP referral to get a PCR. Since July, Victoria has scaled back its mass testing, reserving swabs only for the vulnerable. While in all other states and territories, there are still free pop-up clinics.
If PCR is too difficult to access, a rapid antigen test is still, obviously a really useful test to do.
Dr Paul Griffin is the Mater Hospital's Director of Infectious Diseases in Queensland. He says the longer COVID patients wait to test positive on a rat, they could be jeopardising vital treatment and infecting others.
I think for many people, if you're particularly high risk and will get the greatest benefit from those antivirals, there's a strong case for those people going straight to PCR to facilitate their rapid access to those antivirals.
More than 300,000 Australians currently have COVID.
They're active cases. They're the cases that we know about. We know that people aren't having full access to testing. Rapid antigen tests aren't being reported.
Federal funding for PCR testing will be reviewed in September. Histopath's Greg Granger is urging the government to remain committed to stringent testing.
There's still a lot of vulnerable groups out there, the heavily symptomatic, the elderly, aged care people and close contacts. We really need to ensure that we're doing the best to stem the spread where we have the opportunity to.
Personally, I'd like to see a unified response across the country where we could simply say that people can get a PCR test readily from any laboratory without requiring that request form.
Peace of mind that just might stop people unknowingly becoming super spreaders.
It could be that you've got it, but you just don't know that you have it, and your rats might be coming up negative, but you might have a weak positive like I had.